Vince Sr. was looking to retire, and initially he was just looking to unload his 50%. He was thinking, who am I going to give this to? And actually, Les, you'll appreciate this. You may know this, but one of his early choices was Buddy Rogers. He approached Buddy Rogers and he said, would you, and Buddy just didn't have the kind of money to pony up to do that. And so then Vince said, I guess I'll just sell my shares to the partners. So the partners were at that point Gorilla, Phil Zacco, and they had gotten in Arnold Skolin by that point. He had 10%. So they said, well, Vince Sr. said, I'll just give you guys my share. I'll sell you guys my share. And at that point, that would have been the point when Gorilla took over, because he would have had about 40 or 50% by that point. Phil Zacco is an old man. He's looking to get out. Arnold Skolin is not someone that's going to run the company. He's a junior partner. So it would have been Gorilla. And that's when Vince Jr. stepped in and said, don't do that. I have an alternative. And so Vince Sr. said, okay, well, he's his dad, so it's easy to get him on board. It's father-son. So he says, okay, I'll sell you my 50%. And that's when Vince Jr. said, no, that's not what I mean. I don't want your 50%. I want 100%. I want to buy everyone out. And so that caused a lot of conflict because of two reasons. They thought, number one, this guy has no track record. He's failed at every business he's ever had. He failed selling paper cups. He couldn't succeed. The Evel Knievel thing was a disaster. We have no guarantee this is going to work. We're going to flush down the toilet the most successful and lucrative wrestling company in the business, even at that point. And they said, okay, and then on the bright side, if it does work and you do everything you say you're going to do, now we're out in the cold. We don't have our percentage points anymore. So you're going to make all the money. So they were very pissed off. But the thing is, Gorilla was the big obstacle. So Arnold Skolin, like I said, he would go along with what they wanted to do. So he wasn't that hard to convince. Phil Zacco was looking to retire and get out. So he was going to take his money and go home, which he did. Gorilla was the one who had the most to lose. He was the one who was felt like he was being cheated the most. And people that were around him at the time, I talked to Gary Capetta for the book, who knew him very well, who said he was not fun to be around at that point. He was usually a very positive guy. He was angry. He was disillusioned. He was disenchanted. He would say, guys would come up to him and say, well, talk about their finishes and things. And Gino would say, what the hell are you talking to me about that for? I just work here like you do. I'm not, I'm just an employee now. So he was not a happy guy. But what he got, he knew he had the leverage. That's the thing. And he was able to get everything he wanted out of them. So he said, if you're going to do this to me, if you're going to buy me out, I want a job for life. Okay. I want to be on TV. So you're going to figure out a way to keep me front and center. I'm not going to fade into the background. I want to be front and center. And the most important part is he worked out a deal where he got 1.5 times opening match pay for every single show they put on, whether he was there or not.
Wow.
So it was like a no-show job. So as you know, in those days, they're doing 30 plus events a month. They're sometimes in 2, 3, even 4 locations in a day. So you think about the kind of money that he was clearing. So they made him happy. He was making a lot of money. Now, he was making nowhere near still the kind of money he would have been making if he was still allowed to have his percentage points. I mean, his family would be billionaires today, but it was enough to keep him happy. And so eventually, I guess the long answer is eventually the bad blood went away. And I would never say that he and Vince were the best of friends. I don't think he had the relationship that Vince had with Freddie, where he loved him like a father. Or it wasn't like that. It was much more just professional respect. And they eventually did come to respect each other. I want to make that clear.